Okay, so our last session will be on combating government corruption, ensuring accountability for clean governance. With us today is Mr. Professor Vicha Mahakun, President of Anti-Corruption Foundation of Thailand. A good friend. It's been a while, Professor. I hope you still remember me. And Mr. Tsutomu Hiraishi, Committee Officer of Anti-Bribery Committee, Japan. So today, the last session, we'll be talking about something, of course, close to heart, which is how do we ensure the accountability for clean governance. I think we have touched this topic in different ways throughout the day today, but today we'll be focusing more on Thailand and Japan. So I would like to give the floor to Professor Vicha first to give a presentation of his take on the topic, and then we'll go with Mr. Tsutomu Hiraishi, and after that we will have a bit of discussion on the topic after this. So without too much wasting time, please, Professor.
May I use the podium, yes? First of all, I would like to say thank you and sincere thanks to Chairman Chia and the moderator, that's an old friend for a long time. Yes, I joined in the conference at Malaysia. Yes, the first of Malaysian Anti-Corruption Conference. Yes, I remember Ibrahim. Yes, to give that speech. Yes. Today is unpredictable for me that to talk with you in the podium, because the former panelist WACC has the important duty. She cannot join in this event. I'm replaced her, and if it's not gone to the same of your presentation, I apologize. First, that I have some of my PowerPoint that to bring it with my colleagues. I wish to share with you about my work at the Rangsit University School of Law, that I am the dean. And I'm really think that it's very difficult to work in the academic part. But I use the experience in my work of the commissioners of anti-corruption of Thailand, 9 years term. And after that, I became the Anti-Corruption Reformation Committee of Thailand 4 years. I think that it must be the first of the talking of Sir Jack Carter, founding of Commissioner of ICAC, ICAC at Hong Kong. He said that there can be no real victory in our fight against corruption unless there are changes of attitude throughout the community. That's why before I retire from the commissioners of NACC, I prepare of the foundation that call it Anti-Corruption because I would like to change the culture of the people in the community. Next. It's under the preamble of UNCAC 2013 that must establish the civil society and local community organization in preventing and eliminating corruption. It stated, Article 13, that every country all over the world must establish the civil society in the community. I stress in this part of UNCAC. Next. And it's must transparency and promoting contribution of the public to decision-making process. It means that we must open the information of government. If you must control the government, you must open everything of the government. Understanding of the corruptions must pass the law and everything in the parliament and in the Prime Minister office. Entering the public has effect, access to information. Right to access to information is the powerful of the people. You must have the law to provide that every information of the government must open to the people, that I must have my friend or my people or my community to push and use every influencing to the parliament, to the government, to pass the law. But it's very hard, you know, that for the people it's a secrecy system. It's not the culture of the government. The government must say that it's not the public information. It's the public of mind. Of mind means that the information of the government, of the officer, not the information of the people. I appreciate in Korean that have the new law about the public information and to protect every people to open it. We call it that it is the anti-slap law. When the people open on the social media or the media, every media, no one can find them or can or use every case for them. That is the protect the people to come to become the whistleblowing system that I asked the president from the Malaysia watch that how to take it like a Korean country, like a law of the anti-slap law that try to protect the people. And to respect the side of the limitations, it's for protection of national security or the public of the health or the morals. Is the training the people in the moral or the ethical that must use the conflict of interest in their mind to protect them when defend to the government or the officer. Next. For this reason, that I, as the National Anti-Corruption Commissioner of Thailand, I began establish the institute, Anti-Corruption Institute, at the first time for training the people and the civil society. Next. And the reason is the operation of the period 4 months to discover that we call it Integrity Village. Integrity Village is a model for the people to use their power, every honesty for the cleanness of the body and behavior, mind and wisdom to create the model of strong communities that not tolerates corruption in the whole country. Next. In July 2015, it's the last years of my term, I held the position of an SEC commissioner, and I was selected to become a chairman of this foundation, and selected by colleagues of the training course of my class to graduates and take turn to become the member of the board in order to create awareness to drive every to continuously for preventing and suppression strategy of anti-corruption in 76 provinces. And now I have the model of 77 villages except Bangkok metropolitan. Next. And I also set up Thailand Anti-Corruption Academy, TACA, in Faculty of Law, Langsit University. Next PowerPoint. Next PowerPoint. It's very important that I must use the village with the academic organization. Thailand Anti-Corruption Academy at Langsit University was established in the institute level for the education to faculty in 2016, that the next year from the year of the establishing the village. We try to guide the education and practice to prevent the suppress corruption. And it is the organization that manage the kind of activities to promote support for zero tolerance for corruption. Next. According to Thailand National Strategy, we concern the prevention and suppression of corruption. And we target to higher than 50%, but it's very hard to change to more than 36 that Thailand was given in the CPI. One is create a society that does not tolerate corruption. Second is enhance the political will in combating corruption and intercepting policy corruption, proactively prevent corruption, reform mechanism. Every research of the TACA try to change in the country, especially in the state procurement that now is the law in Thailand. We try to push it under the Integrity Pact. Integrity Pact is the model that Market of Switzerland institution built it. And I use this way to bring the cost of the observation of the people to see how the procurement used for the people and used for to keep the budget that not corruption. We have observers. The observer is from the people, not the official, you know. That is the cause that try to use of all over the country, not only in Bangkok. Next. And this is the potential of our duty, on the duty. Next. We training for the project New Generation Leaders, Transparency, Anti-Corruption, Class 1 in 2018, and organize the training for external agency, such as training for middle management, and underway working to open corruption study course. In the next year, we will open the Master of Arts degree under the curriculum of IACA, International Anti-Corruption Academy, that I am advisory board at Austria. I bring the course to Thailand at first time. Next. I conclude that I try to make it from the people in the root and the people in the academic all together and work together to make the new law that we call that public information law. It's very important because we would like to input the in every information about the budget, about the project of the government must transparency and accountability, and try to build the people that you must not conflict of interest. You must use every ethical conduct to fight of the misconduct of the government or the officers, and we try to make the cleanliness of the people in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. Now we'll have Mr. Tsutomu Hiraishi to present.
I'd like to thank ISI and the organizers for this opportunity for me to share my views and experience with you. And I'm also thankful to listen to the previous panel discussions and presentation. Discussions and the presentation of the previous panels were so insightful, and they made me think many things very deeply. So I should use my brain at the highest CPU level. So I hope my brain is still working, and I can provide useful presentation and discussion in this panel. I am a lawyer and working in Tokyo, and I am also a member of the Anti-Bribery Committee Japan. We call it ABCJ. And today, firstly, I'd like to explain the activities of ABCJ, which I believe relates to the topic of this panel. So ABCJ is an independent expert group which consists of Japanese lawyers and researchers who have expertise in anti-corruption and prevention of anti-bribery, prevention of bribery in foreign countries, and which also drafted the guidelines on prevention of foreign bribery, which was published by the Japan Federation of Bar Association. And we so group of experts of lawyers and researchers. For the bribery, there must be givers of bribery and recipients of bribery. There must be always two sides. And we are working on the business side. So we are trying to empower the companies to fight against corruption. And in addition to our daily activities, we collaborate with international organizations and anti-corruption enforcement agencies in various countries. Next slide, please. So these are the pictures of our visit to anti-corruption agencies in Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. So in 2018, we visited KPK, and I think Dr. Laude is in that picture. Yeah, yeah, and we visited NACC in Thailand in 2019, and unfortunately, at that time, Professor was not in NACC, and I did not join, but our delegates visited the anti-corruption agency in Vietnam this year. Next slide, please. As I said before, so we are working on the business side to combat corruption. So our aims and activities are like this. So firstly, we try to empower companies and people to combat corruption. So we want the companies and people to be prepared for the situation subject to the corruption. if they are not prepared, they are vulnerable to corruption, and it is difficult to reject the request of bribery from the government. So we are trying to empower the companies and people to be prepared for such situation. Maybe I'll explain later how we are assisting the companies to be prepared. And secondly, ABCJ tried to shed light on the black box of bribery and corruption. So bribery and corruption is usually done in a black box. So it is difficult to know who are involved and how much money was paid and how the money is transferred and what is the benefit for the giver of briberies. So it is done in the black box, but we try to shed light on the black box. And we encourage people to openly discuss about corruption. Usually, people are aware of existence of corruption. To some extent, each country has corruption. But we usually hesitate to talk about corruption. For example, government officials. There are some corrupted government officials, but I believe most of the government officials are clean. But they don't want to talk about the corruption openly because the corrupted officials, maybe their friends or colleagues, and they have close relationships. So government officials sometimes hesitate to talk about the corruption openly. And people hesitate to talk about the corruption openly either because they are afraid of government officials. And if they actually paid the bribe, they are afraid of criminal sanctions. So they don't want to talk about the bribery openly. But we try to shed light on those black boxes. Maybe I will explain later how. So that is the second aim of corruption, and I think it relates to the accountability of the government offices. And in the previous presentation, I saw the description. I paid the bribe. That is the website of in India. So that's a very interesting idea. So people who paid the crime and they regret the actions, so they can report it to that website. And thirdly, ABCJ tried to promote collective actions among stakeholders. So companies, civil societies, and foreign anti-bribery agencies. So we try to promote collective action. And there are some challenges. Japan is relatively clean inside, but Japanese companies operating outside of Japan are often exposed to the situation subject to bribery requirements. And because inside Japan it is relatively clean, Japanese companies are not used to deal with such situation. So they are vulnerable to those requests of bribery. They used to, but we are trying to empower them and try to make them prepared for such situation. And yeah, and the last point. Sorry, can you go back to the last slide? One challenge in Japan is we have a kind of criminal code which punishes Japanese companies who paid the bribe in foreign countries. But foreign bribery enforcement by the Japanese government is very rare still now. Not like US or EU or UK. This is our challenge in Japan. we promote the use of the pre-bargaining introduced in 2018 in Japan. Pre-bargaining, foreign subsidiaries of Japanese companies in foreign countries sometimes faces the situation subject to the bribery. And sometimes subsidiaries pay the bribe to the foreign officials at their own risk. So they don't report such situation to the headquarters in Japan. That is not good practice, but as I said before, they don't want to talk about it. The headquarters of Japanese companies doesn't want to listen to such situation. So the subsidiaries don't want to report such situation to Japanese headquarters, and Japanese headquarters doesn't want to listen to them. So just manage in that country. So such attitude is not good. So if that happens, it really happened in ASEAN countries. Japanese headquarters reported such situation to the Japanese prosecutor and requested the pre-bargaining. So the company in Japan will be waived criminal sanction. So they are not punished by the Foreign Bribery Act in Japan. But the Japanese person working in the subsidiary was reported by the headquarters in Japan. So they are subject to the prosecution in Japan under the Foreign Bribery Enforcement Act. So Japanese company headquarters is waived for the criminal sanction, but the individual working in foreign country was subject to the prosecution. That is the pre-bargaining. From the ethical point of view, I'm not sure that's a good thing or bad thing, but if that is possible, that can make the Japanese individual in foreign countries not to make such decision. So they should report the situation to the Japanese headquarters because of this kind of pre-bargaining. So we are encouraging Japanese subsidiaries in foreign countries, if they have such situation, they should report it to the headquarters and discuss that openly in the company. Next, please. Thank you. And my second topic is judiciary. I think already some panelists mentioned about the rule of law and judiciary, which are important to prevent corruption. I think rule of law and corruption are the flip side of one coin. Corruption is like rule of government official, not rule of law. So if we have a perfect rule of law and a perfect judiciary, we do not have corruption, I believe. And so I think I do not need to explain why the judiciary is important from the perspective of these two. So givers and recipients bribe should be subject to the criminal penalties, and judiciary must ensure that. And also the first point, I think this is important. In some countries, laws and regulations are very ambiguous. So government officials have large discretion to enforce such law. And those government officials use such discretion to collect the under-table money. So if the laws and regulations are ambiguous, I think judiciary can clarify them in court decisions. So court decisions are important for prevention of corruption also. Next slide, please. This is about the rule of law and judiciary. I think, so this is the kind of legal infrastructure. It cannot be built in one day, so it may take some time, but in the long run, I think these legal infrastructure should be established to eradicate corruption. First, clear and robust statutes. The secondly, abundant judicial precedent and academic paper to clarify the laws and statutes, and detailed court decisions. Detailed court decisions ensure fair and justice decisions. And publishing court decisions with value as new judicial precedent. So accumulation of judicial precedent is very important. And criticism by academics of court decisions. So court decisions is always subject to the criticism by academics. So the judges are afraid of criticism by academics. So it is important for the academics. They have access to the court decisions, and they have freedom of speech to criticize court decisions. And evaluation and promotion of judges. So if judges made unlogical, irrational decisions, they should be demoted. And self-discipline in bar association. In the previous panel, one of the panelists emphasized the importance of discipline of legal society. And bar association should have strong, robust self-discipline. And legal studies at universities and mandatory training system for new judges, attorneys, lawyers. So the training and study is also important. And lastly, a smaller room of discussion by judges, lawyers, prosecutors, and other government officials. As I told before, if they have large discretion, they use such discretion for corruption. So the decision should be made based on clear principles and rules. So they should not have a large room of discretion. Thank you very much. This is my last slide.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Tsutomu Hiraishi. To the organizer, do we have time at all for any questions, or we have? How many? How long do we have? 5 minutes? 15 minutes. Okay, great. For some dialogue on this topic, I guess to sum it up, what is important, why this session is important, is the fact that we are really deep diving into human nature, the whole idea of how we can shape deterrence or shape deterrence and try to skew the human inclination towards corruption. I'm very attracted to Tsutomu-san about the idea of foreign bribery, because I was working in Morocco a few years back, and I remember one of the big companies, I don't want to mention which company, it's a very famous company, foreign company in Morocco. They attempted to engage in corruption because some things in Morocco will not move if not for certain things being given. So this is a big dilemma for these kind of companies. And of course, I guess my question here is, what if the HQ is also part of the decision? So what happens then?
So I mentioned guidelines on prevention of foreign bribery published by Japan Federation of Bar Association. It explains the internal guidelines to deal with corruption, and it explains also the management system of the graft to the government officials, something like that. And it also mentions the report system and approval system with relation to such transaction. So, and also mentions the training, internal training in the company. And the guidelines must clearly confirm zero tolerance of the corruption. So the salesperson and business person always have the pressure to make profit. So they want to make that transaction go through. But no. Top priority is zero tolerance. So the president and the directors, they should not allow such payment of money, even though they lose the profit. So the workers, business people, understand such policy, so they don't try to make profit from such behavior. So that is important. So they are prepared for such situation.
So are you saying that the companies, I guess the HQ as well, it's compulsory for them to self-declare this, that they have this training program, that they have this policy for each company?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's also part of culture because as you showed just now, the thing about Japan is, I guess it's inbuilt in the culture that, that you have accountability and integrity. That's why, for example, you said Japanese government is relatively clean in the inside, right? So I guess it has something to do with culture as well. How about Professor Vicha? What is the situation in Thailand when it comes to foreign bribery?
In Thailand, the system is very weak. Cannot compare with the Japanese system because of the idea or concept of the people. You must confess or agree with the officially or officer. It's in the control of the government and the parliament, and that the way of Thai people use in the past time. That's why we must change the concept, the idea under the democratic system that everybody is free of their mind and they can change the society and they can change everything that they make by themselves. But this way is not success if they work only one. They must work with the networking. They must use by collective action, like a Japanese system or the system in the European country, that everybody must sing all together, work together, and you must have the guiding organization. That's why I try to push the foundations and the idea of academic to push everybody in the same way. The same way is the integrity way. Only integrity we use the sign that's this the right. Yeah. Only right. You must do the right thing. Always do the right thing. Yes. And before you use the right thing, you must know what is right, what is wrong. If you have no right or wrong, you cannot do the right thing. That's why
This one, yeah?
we push it. That's
This one.
This one.
If you don't do this, you get shot.
Yes. And we have the right side on my heart.
Okay.
On your heart. At your heart.
Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. You touched also about democracy. But I guess democracy does not determine whether, I guess it helps in terms of increasing freedom of choice, but it doesn't help in helping reduce corruption, I guess. You know, there are countries who are not democratic, but they handle corruption better maybe. Yeah. But I guess it's also part of culture. You know, as you said, in Europe, I think the corruption cases compared to Japan, I would guess Japan would be even cleaner in that sense. It probably has something to do with the culture of Japan. Maybe your sushi is something to do with the sushi. I don't know. Okay. Yes, we have questions from the floor. Maybe 3 questions. We don't have much time. We have only 5 minutes. So how do we do this? This is a dilemma of a moderator. Okay, let's make it very quick, because we can try to have 3 questions, but you need to be very, very quick. Don't give a whole essay, and we can get the speaker to answer. Please.
Okay, thank you. My name is Malik. I'm from ISQ. My question is for Mr. Tsutomu Hiraishi-san. I have experience when I be a consultant for the automotive company in Indonesia from Japan. I'm not say the company name. Actually today I'm as anti-bribery consultant to help a company in Indonesia to set up the anti-bribery management system. In 2017, I tried to promote to them, to the Japanese company, but they say no need today because of no regulation mandatory to have the ISO 37001 anti-bribery management system. And then after that, I hear from our community that there are so many cases in automotive industry because of corruption or bribery. The market is not fair. Some supplier that can make a deal with the person in charge in this company, they can get a bigger volume order. So that's why I think this is important. I say to Mr. Tsutomu-san, yeah. And then in 2022, there is a new regulation for construction company. So today I also help a lot of Japanese construction company to set up. But the regulation said no need to have the certification, but only have the documentation. I tried to challenge the director to get the certification, but they say no need because the regulation is only have the documented only. This is why I will ask you how what ABC Japan do to promote Japanese company, especially in Indonesia. That I know that Indonesia is almost not so good in anti-corruption, and then to have the anti-bribery system, so we can work together with you in the future. I say thank you very much.
Okay, makasih. Matur nuwun.
Thank you very much for your comments and the questions. I'm sorry to hear some of your information, but I understand that, I fully understand that we are also human beings. So we are vulnerable to corruption situation and making profit. So I must say, Japanese companies have changed for the past 10 years. So 10 years ago, Japanese companies are tempted to use the under table sometimes. But the situation completely changed now. So many Japanese companies have internal guidelines on anti-corruption. So if you suggest such internal guidelines to that company, I think that company will listen to you now. But maybe 2017, that company was not ready for that. And about the certification, I heard about certification from some people in this conference already today. And I think Japanese companies understand the importance of internal guidelines, but I think they do not understand the importance of certification from the independent third agencies. So yeah, you can promote such certification to Japanese companies, and I will talk about that with Japanese companies. Thank you very much.